why is a deficit of meaning more prevalent in people under 35? Is it just because they're chronically online?
They're chronically online because, number one, they've lived only in the hyper-focused engineering culture, right? And this is especially true for strivers. And so you find that the ones who have the biggest meaning crisis are college educated, which is pretty interesting, right? You don't see this big meaning crisis for, young dudes who are going to trade school. You don't find it in the same way. People who are in the trades, people who are working on farms, they don't have it in the same way. People who go to college and are in this achieve, right? They're suffering a lot more. And then, of course, the more online and the more that you are, the more that you're actually addicted to machines, the more you're distracting yourself with technology, the worse it's going to get. And people under 35 don't remember the before times. Even you're a little older. You're just 8 years older or something like that?
Yeah.
You remember the before times.
Yeah.
You actually remember before you had a phone in your pocket.
Yes.
And that means that there's this vestigial memory of living in a particular way, right? There's that... And it's interesting because this is a kind of new problem. I'm going to make some assumptions about great grandfather Lugavere, right? So you probably came here from some godforsaken shtetl, right? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was but here's something he never said to great grandma Lugavere. He said, "Honey, I had a panic attack behind the mule today," and that's because his brain was working the way it was supposed to. His hypothalamic adrenal pituitary adrenal axis, his HPA axis, was not getting flooded for no apparent reason. It will if your brain is working wrong, if you're spending all the time on the left side of the brain. His life, here's the paradox, here's the weird paradox for people under 35, which is most of your audience to be thinking about. Your great-grandfather, his day-to-day life, his moment-to-moment life was pretty boring, but his life wasn't boring. His moment-to-moment was boring, but his life wasn't boring at all. A lot of young people today, their moment-to-moment is never boring because they're distracted, but their life overall is unbelievably boring.
Yikes.
That's a problem, right? So if the end of your days, so you think to yourself, if I were to die today, would I say, my life was actually pretty boring, as opposed to your grandfather says, my life was just full of stuff, man, and I had kids, and then there was a war, and then but moment to moment he was behind the mule, right? But his brain was working the way it was supposed to. His hemispheres were working in equilibrium with each other, and that's the reason that people under 35 are suffering the most, especially those in the hustle and grind academic culture, and those who are chronically online.
Our ancestors did the hard things because they had to. Today we have to make the concerted decision to. We have to choose to.
Yeah, think about what the gym is. Because I go to the gym every day. I missed 7 days in 2025, right? In the gym. Because, and part of it is just because that's mood management.
That's why you look so good.
Well, I don't know. I look good.
Look at that bicep vein.
Bicep vein.
You look good.
But working out, picking up heavy things and running around is just simulating manual labor. It's trying to get your body into the space that it was developed to be in the Pleistocene. 250,000 years ago, your brain was what it was going to be, and our bodies were mostly what they are today. And to be healthy, to do what we're designed to do, because this is what real good health comes from, is being in equilibrium with our design. And when you're sitting around on the couch and sitting in front of a monitor on a chair all day long, you're going to get out of equilibrium real fast. So you have to do something that looks weirdly like manual labor from thousands of years ago, which is, go pick up heavy things.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a problem. But you have to, I think that there's real merit, real value to front loading your life with with difficulty. You don't want it on the latter end of your life.
Sort of, although I have to say that having challenges, real strong challenges over the course of your life really keeps you alive, and understanding that those challenges are going to change in a big way. You don't want the same... You're going to have different kind of challenges because your time horizon changes and your discount rate changes a lot too. You know how you discount the future? Well, if the future is shorter, and you find this, you're going to find this. I'm 61, so I'm, 18 years older than you are? And which is weird, man, because I feel like I'm 43 or 33 or something, and my wife says I act like a baby. So, but what you find is that you stop doing things that are hard that are going to pay off a really, really, really long time from now, and start doing things that are hard that are going to pay off right now. You start doing hard things now, right? That's kind of what you find that you're more interested in doing. And so I'm very unlikely to, I would never take a job that's a good thing to do. And
At
earlier in
what
my
point did
career,
when did that shift for you?
I noticed that shifted in my mid-50s is when I really started to see the difference between that. And a lot of people don't, because they get into these patterns and they're always putting off their future enjoyment, and because they think they're going to get so much more satisfaction. All this macronutrient stuff goes into this. And then what they find is that the day never comes. The day just never comes. And that's a really, really important thing. And I have to redesign people. So hyper strivers, what they'll do is they'll stay on the wheel, and they'll be making these big investments. Like, I'm going to start a company and it's going to pay off in 15, 20 years. It's like, dude, you're 80. You're not going to be here to see it, and you're not enjoying it. But I don't know how to enjoy. And so I have to actually do boot camp and, basic human enjoyment. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah. Hey, if you liked that video, you need to check out this one here, and I'll see you there.